Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back to All Chiefs Up. We're back with another podcast for that ass. And today we're talking about Andy Reid commenting on Kadarius Toney and what could possibly be his status for the 2024 season, Steve. Let's talk about it.
Before we get started, just want to say thanks for watching All Chiefs Up. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button, baby. Help us out a little bit. Mike Kadarius Toney's never met his full potential. He's always been hurt. There's always something going on. Last year he had the yips. What is it now, baby? What is it?
Right. Chiefs Kingdom. Is he going to be here? Is he not? Everybody's got some crazy theories on that one. Andy Reid weighed in on it. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid hasn't lost faith in former first-round pick after rocky start to his tenure in KC, says Charles Goldman, A to Z Sports. Kadarius Toney is arguably one of the most talented guys we have on the team, said head coach Andy Reid on Monday. It's just a matter of staying healthy and being able to stay on the field. He goes on to say, you always hear about the reliability, accountability, all those things that go into it. So I'm expecting him to come back ripping and ready to go, said Reid. It's great that he's down there working with Mahomes and putting the work in, so that is a positive. He finishes by saying, listen, perfect Andy, listen, we like Kadarius. It's just a matter of having him on the field, Reid concluded. Steve, Andy sounds like he's not losing faith in Kadarius Toney. All the people that think Kadarius Toney is getting cut, all the Kadarius Toney haters, they're in shambles right now. It sounds like he's going to be here.
Not losing faith in Kadarius Toney is definitely a bold statement, because after what we watched last year, it's hard to think this guy's going to do a whole lot of anything in his career. We know back when he was at the New York Giants, he couldn't stay on the football field. That was his problem. He also had all this negative talk about how he didn't focus on football. He only wanted to focus on music.
Right.
We've started to see the effects of that this last season. Kadarius Toney was healthy, Mike. And he's saying if he's healthy, he's on the field. Well, he was healthy last year. He wasn't on the field. Why was that? He
right.
had
the entire playoff run. Healthy scratch, apparently. And then he goes on Instagram and he's saying things and going on curse-filled tirades and all kinds of stuff. It looked crazy. It looked very bleak for Kadarius Toney. But it looks like Andy and them are all in on Kadarius Toney. This is what he did in 2023, Steve. He had 37 targets. That's all he could muster up, tied for 97th in the NFL. 27 receptions, that tied for 87th in the NFL. 169 receiving yards, Steve. That's only 169 yards more than me, and I never got off the couch. 102nd. Receiving touchdowns, one single receiving touchdown, Steve. Look at these player grades from PFF. A 62.5 overall, a 62.9 receiving grade, and a 62.3 rushing grade, which is funny because he was better as a rusher than he was a receiver half the time.
Right. Well, I'm kind of confused about last season because I know he started off bad against the Lions, and that was just, it was all downhill from there. He had a couple of drops. He dropped one directly into the defense and got a pick six, lost us the game, essentially.
Right.
Like, we would not have lost to the Lions if Kadarius Toney hadn't touched the football field, but he did. But then it's like, was there injuries? They kept pulling him off, saying he was injured. Then he would come back for a little bit. He would drop a bunch of balls. Then he was injured again. I don't know if he was ever injured, but like you said, we do know he was a healthy scratch during the playoff run. And the thing about Kadarius Toney is, Mike, just like Andy Reid said, he is probably the most athletic guy on the entire team. He's probably more athletic than 98% of the NFL. His ceiling is super high. If they can get this kid focused and get him out of his own head,
right,
and just let him play football, I think he could be a freaking phenomenal NFL wide receiver. He's just got to stop thinking too much. He's got to focus on football. That's one thing. If it's the music that's making him lose focus on football, drop it. If it's something else, drop it. We got to get this thing straight.
Hey,
you got to get your career in order.
Don't use the word drop it with Kadarius Toney. He knows how to drop things if he wants to, Steve.
Trying to drop albums. He's dropping footballs. He needs to stop.
If Kadarius Toney goes back to the half season he had with Kansas City in 2022 where he got traded, I'm fine with it. He had 16 receptions that year, 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. That doubled everything in the touchdown category, and he had more receiving yards there, and he only played in less games. Another thing we know about Kadarius Toney is a crazy, extensive injury history with this guy. Check this one out. This is what he looks like. This is his body.
I'm sorry, but, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Look, the right side of his body, horrible. If you could chop that off, regenerate that, kind of like you could. Like if his whole right side of his body was a liver.
Apparently he got a belly button ring too. And that was
he did. He got the belly button ring. They say that his chance of injury in 2024 is 80%, that he
Good
is likely
Lord,
to
bro.
miss 2 quarters. 80% for 2 quarters? Bro, that is undershooting it.
110% that he's going to
That's
miss 2 quarters.
180%. His chance of injury per game is sitting at 9%. I think that's a little low. To me, it's 50-50 risk every time he steps on the field. This dude's like
It is.
a glass statue running out there. Check this out. He's had shoulder injuries. 2017, 2019. He had a hamstring injury in 2021, an ankle injury in 2021. It keeps going. Ankle in 2021, October 17th. A left quad strain in 2021. An abdomen muscle. There it is, Steve. There's your belly button piercing. 2021, a shoulder. 2022, a knee tear. It keeps going. 2022, a thigh hamstring sprain. A thigh hamstring strain. Knee meniscus trim. It's constant. It's constant. It's constant.
The ripping
dude.
and the tearing.
The ripping and the tearing. Steve, can we really rely on Kadarius Toney at this point, showing what he showed? And why are the Chiefs so hell-bent on just keep going back to the Kadarius Toney well off just pure speculation when you could honestly upgrade him for, I would say cheaper, but he's not really making that much money, but you could still go cheaper in the draft, you know? And I think there's probably better people in the draft that you could rely on just a little bit more. Would you not think so?
He's on a rookie contract. He's not going anywhere. His ceiling is way too high. You're not going to find a better athlete than Kadarius Toney in the draft. There might be a couple, and that's saying if they translate to the NFL.
Yeah.
And Kadarius Toney can do this. That's the thing. And I think that Brett Veach and Andy Reid have their eyeballs set on that. Their brain is set on that. Like they think there's this big explosion that hasn't happened yet, and everything's just going to come together, and he's going to be this amazing NFL wide receiver. And I understand it. I get it. I'm right there with him. I feel that way too. But the problem is, like you said, he is not reliable. You cannot rely on Kadarius Toney. I wouldn't trust him to play more than 1 game next year. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that the Chiefs honestly believe deep down in their hearts, in their little red and gold hearts, that Kadarius Toney is just like right on the verge of it clicking and him being like this all-pro, amazing wide receiver. And he's shown signs of it. But to me, the negative definitely outweighs the positive to the point that I just cannot trust it until I see it.
That's the thing. He's on his rookie contract, so the negative can't really outweigh the positive. He's still all projection. Now, if it comes up to them having to sign a contract with him, they're not going to do it at this juncture. But he's got a little bit of time. He's got a small window to get it together and show them, hey, I got all my crap together, okay?
Yeah.
I'm a good football player. I'm a good athlete. Let me do this thing. I'm focused. But I don't know. I don't trust him to do it. That's the thing.
He has to do it this year. This is his year. This is Kadarius Toney's career make or break year, more than likely, or the Chiefs will part ways with him. And I think he's got to fight for every snap he gets this season too. I don't think nothing will be given to Kadarius Toney. So with that being said, it looks like Andy is still on board. A lot of Chiefs Kingdom is not. Let us know in the comments. Are you with Andy? Do you still have faith in Kadarius Toney? Do you think Kadarius Toney should be cut? Do you think we should just draft and get rid of him? Steve, I know your thoughts. They know my thoughts. I'm ready to see what Chiefs Kingdom's thoughts are. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, hitting that bell. We'll catch you guys next time. Go Chiefs.